because I did so much research before I applied and figured out that Columbia really is the right fit for me. I wouldn't have been happy at Princeton or other schools in New York. Hey guys, it's Crystal back at it again with another video. As you guys know, I'm a student at Columbia University and I've been
What the fuck, man?
really lucky in that it's been pretty much the perfect match for me. My experience there, barring COVID-19 and online learning, since obviously nobody expected that, has been more or less exactly what I dreamed of. And I think it's because I did so much research before I applied and figured out that Columbia really is the right fit for me. I wouldn't have been happy at Princeton or Harvard, which were some other schools that I considered, or even other schools in New York, like Cornell or NYU, because they just weren't right for me in terms of their programs and their campuses. And that's what really matters, because as much as all these different schools might look pretty similar on paper, their differences, whether they're little or big, really do make a difference. So today, as you can probably tell from the title, I wanted to make a video talking you guys through whether Columbia University is the right fit for you, just like it is for me. Subscribe, like this video, hit that notifications bell so you get notified every time I post, and let's get into it. So for starters, let's get all the Columbia stereotypes out of the way because some of them are truer than others, and that really does affect your Columbia experience. I'd say the big three things that everyone says about Columbia is that it's in NYC, with the core curriculum, and we don't have any school spirit. Obviously, the first two are just facts, and I'll get into how they affect your experience here. And then for the third one, in my experience, that hasn't been true at all. I think we have a lot of school spirit. Obviously, it's never going to be the same as like a big flagship state school, but I love our school spirit. So first and foremost, Columbia University is, surprise, surprise, located in Manhattan. Specifically, we're located on the Upper West Side in Morningside Heights, which might not mean a lot if you don't live in NYC, but trust me, it makes a big difference than if you're somewhere like NYU, which is in the East Side, which is a lot quirkier and artsier. Morningside Heights is near Washington Heights and Harlem, so we're at the intersection of a lot of really interesting cultural histories and presences in Manhattan. And there are a lot of different things to do here on campus. There are some parks that you can go to, and restaurants, and some bars that you'll see Columbia students frequenting, like 1020 or Mel's. But most people tend to go to the pretty basic restaurants around campus that are right outside the gates, like Starbucks, Shake Shack, Pret. I say basic with love because I'm kind of addicted to Shake Shack and can't really talk. However, if you do want a more diverse experience, the one train is literally right outside the Columbia gates on Broadway, and you can go uptown further or all the way down to Brooklyn, wherever you want to go, and it's super fun. Obviously, living in Manhattan,
what the
there
fuck
isn't a whole lot of room for a huge
campus. I'm joking with
so
this shit?
It's pretty small, but even if you want that kind of green fields, college students, libraries, and we do have the Columbia bubble, which I absolutely love. Even if you do still hear the sounds of...
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Say whatever the fuck, yeah. Say whatever you want to say with it.
To the family we're born with, and the family we make along the way.
And then it's going to be like, wow, look at the links they went to. Look at the links.
Plaque psoriasis, the burning, itching, the pain. With Tremfya, adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis.
City, this will be previously recorded as well, but just moments ago, the perpetrator walked out of the precinct at the NYPD headquarters there in Harlem. Vincent Pickney charged very, very soon. He hasn't been charged yet. He will be soon.
Do you guys hear this shit?
Death of that 30-year-old Columbia grad student. We have that perp walk. We're going to show that to you as it happened just moments ago. You can see here NYPD officials are going to walk 25-year-old Vincent Pickney out, put him in the back of a squad car, and presumably they will soon charge him as the community of Columbia University reels that one of their own, that 30-year-old grad student, Davide Aguirre, was stabbed to death in Morningside Park. You're going to watch Vincent Pickney walk out handcuffed.
Yeah, because I want to see who would fucking catch it quicker. Those three
he
people
also
that
stabbed another Italian tourist. There he is. That Italian tourist is expected to survive. They were stabbed in the torso. This was a 15-minute stabbing spree. Started when Columbia grad student Davide Geary, 30, was knifed in the stomach in Morningside Park just before 11 p.m. last night. Geary is from Italy, stumbled out of the park and collapsed, where he was found by police. He was pronounced dead at Mount Sinai St. Luke's Hospital. The second victim, a 27-year-old Italian tourist who had only arrived in the city a day earlier, was found with stab wounds to the torso. Witnesses told police the suspect had approached the male victim from behind and knifed him in the back before fleeing. Vincent Pinckney has gang ties. He's allegedly part of the Bloods gang offshoot Everybody Killers, and there he is being put in the back of the patrol car there, the squad car.
I got gang related. It's the church I used to go to.
11 prior arrests dating back to 2012
no, seriously.
for robberies and assaults, as well as an assortment of other alleged crimes.
Yeah, I got gang ties. So what?
So we just wanted to make
sure
that
means that you win?
We showed you that. This is in Upper Manhattan, in Harlem.
See, they want to try to take it away. That's how you go.
And of course, Columbia University. We showed you the vigil of hundreds of students who came out to honor the memory of Davide Geary, a student from Italy studying.
Well, Columbia University right now, stunned by the killing of a grad student. He was just one victim in a series of violent attacks near campus. The 30-year-old student died after being stabbed at 123rd Street and Amsterdam Avenue. A second person was also stabbed just a short time later near 110th Street. He survived, and now tonight, police have someone in custody. News 4's Miles Miller is in Morningside High Square. A vigil is being held, and we're learning more about that person taken in by police, Miles.
Adam, good evening to you. Yeah, a vigil happening tonight for Davide Geary. He was a beloved member of the computer science school here at Columbia. Really brilliant guy who so many people on campus knew. And that is the reason why there is a vigil on campus tonight after he was stabbed to death in Morningside Park just yesterday. Tonight, we're getting our first look at the weapon used in the stabbings of 3 men over the course of 2 nights near Columbia University.
We need to feel safe around here.
Police say Vincent Pinckney attacked and murdered Columbia University PhD candidate Davide Geary as he walked through Morningside Park around 11 Thursday night. The Italian native was stabbed 1 time in the rib cage and collapsed outside the park and died.
He seems really nice and genuine guy, so my condolences for the family.
Geary loved soccer and was on his way home from practice when he was attacked. In a statement, Columbia University's president, Lee Bollinger, said, quote, "This news is both unspeakably sad and deeply shocking, as it took place only steps from our campus. The university is working closely with the NYPD to learn more details of the attack. And, of course, we'll keep you updated as we learn more."
They're just doing that to stall.
Pinckney, the suspect, is a gang member out of state prison on parole. Police say after stabbing Geary, he stabbed a 27-year-old tourist from Italy in the abdomen. Maxime Bugivi is visiting from Spain. Walked through the same area.
When I come to America, I'm feeling a bit scared.
Police were able to catch Pinckney after he allegedly menaced the man inside Central Park near 104th Street. Once in custody, detectives in the 26th precinct realized Pinckney was the suspect they were looking for.
I don't have any connection to the Bloods of the Crips. That shit.
1 day earlier.
More lighting is needed.
Sorry?
And I think more police presence.
Pinckney is awaiting charges tonight at the 26th precinct.
He's like, thanks for telling us, now we're going to kill you.
He was released from prison in 2018, is out on parole, and police say in that instance, he was involved in a gang assault of a man. He was so badly beaten in that incident. We are live outside Columbia University tonight. I'm Miles Miller, News 4 New York.
That's when they try to fucking take my...
Thanks so much.
When they try to
celebrate the season with free next day delivery on thousands of items from Best Buy. A Sonos Roam speaker or Samsung Neo QLED TV can put more happy in the holidays for everyone in your squad.
because the prosecution's evidence was so strong that it was a Hail Mary. They thought that Jussie, as a celebrity, would be able to connect with the audience, would be able to connect with the jury, and he did to some degree, but clearly not enough.
You know, there's so much at play here because besides staging this hoax attack, there was also the issue of being a homophobic attack, a racist attack. How do you think that's going to affect him once the judge sentences his case? Do you think he'll just get community service, or do you think he'll serve time in prison?
So that will certainly affect the public opinion of Jussie, but it will not affect what the judge will do in this case. The judge will go by the law, not by whether or not he launched these attacks. It's irrelevant.
Good to go to regular prison?
Okay. Angela Senadella first night. Angela, we appreciate it. We want to turn now to Ukraine, the other big story we're following tonight, and the troops lining the trenches along the border with Russia. The Ukrainian forces already exchanging gunfire with pro-Russian militias, but fearing that this could be
financial crimes to
Nephew, what's caught your attention today, if anything?
Hey, I made 50 trillion. 50.
Data. It's super important.
How much?
For earnings, rates, the
What
Fed.
you want?
But this week we learned a lot about the micro, about fundamentals, about what
I got
companies
noticed
are
I sell
saying and
I
what
sell
they're seeing.
everything.
And I just want to give you a couple of examples.
Buy, sell, buy.
GE increased their aviation sales for 2023
Oh,
by
yeah?
11%
How'd they
higher
do
than where
that?
the street is at. And believe it or not, the stock is down today, which is silly. American Express,
Yeah, right.
during this week at a
Sure it
conference
is.
season, they actually raised the high end of their guidance for 2022 because
I have no
T&E,
ties to
travel and
gang
entertainment,
people.
is
Make
actually
that shit
stronger
up
than
so they could be
expected.
scared of
And
me.
we haven't even seen business recovery yet. So I think there's real upside to
Just
that
fuck
theme.
around and see-
Marriott is opening
just go to
30
random
luxury
houses.
hotels next year. That's higher than expected because of demand. And then we had a whole bunch of shareholder-friendly actions. In terms
Respondents said inflation has
Who the fuck is this guy?
is their number one concern.
But you know I'm connected and use all my power against you to shake you down? How much money have you been paying me already, huh? Are you a motherfucker? That's right, 10 million a week. Okay.
Yeah, David, thanks for having me.
Right.
I think that, Omicron is
Live
clearly
high off the
not
hog.
the big risk to portfolios today. I think inflation and the bubble
Why do you guys
markets
say big and
are
small?
the two big risks. So inflation, on the inflation side, I
Like,
think, clearly there's
depending
some,
what you
there's
think
some
about it,
pandemic-related
confident or not.
transitory components going on.
You think you
Those
got
are
a
probably
big
gonna
bank
last
account,
longer
you
than
don't think it's
people
money.
think. But when you step
You
back
fucking keep
and look
asking
at the
people why all the
long-term
time.
drivers,
Why,
I mean,
what the
Stephanie,
fuck?
mentioned,
You don't know
labor
nothing.
costs, rising. That tends to lead CPI. And then
Let
if you
me
look at the
see,
components, that big
motherfucker.
component of
You know, I
shelter,
just stare at
that's gonna
titties. It's the
continue
girl
to
with the
put upward
biggest
pressure,
tits is the one
for the
is
foreseeable
where I want to
future.
work
But
at.
I think the
Cause I don't have respect for women.
Amazing.
Motherfucker. Oh, now you put the helmet. You motherfucker.
15 walks. That's a little.
You son of a bitch. Oh, yeah, I'm sure it fucking.
Stop waiting. Start investing.
Oh, yeah.
E-Trade.
Oh, and then to top it off, it's a fucking E-Trade commercial.
This is a great report.
Okay, you
Nice
motherfucking
solid
bastards.
quarter, very big raise.
What the fuck is this motherfucker? Hey,
but it's usually by
I'm gonna fuck. Oh, that's why he does it like that.
took up the dividend.
You motherfucker.
Paying out $16.40.
He's like, no, I just saved your life from saying you're gonna kill me.
Creeping up on a
You
3%
fucking get it,
here. I mean, it looks good.
you
$10
son of a
million
bitch. We're working
buyback.
together.
Actually, we were expecting
We're working together.
some kind of return of the cash, either M&A
Yeah.
or buyback if they couldn't find anything to buy. It looks like they couldn't.
If we do a one where like when you send an email, it'll open up, and then you gotta click this one, put that one over there, do that, do this one here, do that. Like you got it like a combo of buttons you gotta unblock, and then it's like that's how you send your email, like that. Yeah. Or in the email thing, there's like the code of it is on the bottom of it right here, right? Like when you're doing the email.
Yeah, that's interesting though, your point. I mean, the company obviously has grown
For
large, not
example.
largely, but M&A has always been a really important part of strategy. Have they kind of reached the end here? Is antitrust potentially also a gating issue? What do you think?
So.
No, I don't think so, because remember, they're not buying semi companies anymore, they're buying software companies. And that may have been part of the reason, in my opinion, that they made that shift, that they've been building out.
So say like right here, right? When you go to sign it, when you go to sign the paper.
You know, they've been on the hunt. We know that there were some rumors earlier in the year they were looking at some other assets, but they've been telling us all along, our preference is for M&A. And that is
so then like right here, there'd be a button, right, with the, like right here somewhere, and then you gotta go in here.
Eventually they give the cash back, and so that's what they're doing this year. I'm fine either way. I'm
and then,
a little more
and then when you
M&A, simply because they're really good at it.
Is
I'd
like
like to see them buy stuff, but I'll
somewhere within the email,
Good morning, Becky. So Pfizer and BioNTech have done
somewhere in the email that will have the where to unlock the code on the button right here. So you press the button, right?
Variant, putting out the first data
And then it'll come out like this.
Saying essentially that 3 doses, so a booster shot of their vaccine.
That quick, how these fuckers already. Motherfucker!
Antibodies
that quick.
Against the older strain.
That's how I had to prove it on mine. Is that what I had to do, bro?
Can return
is that what I had to do?
Levels to that height. That does provide
who is this fucking guy then?
Infection. They found that
is that why I'm fucking sick and I've been on the fucking streets and is that why I've been fucking getting sick and I got a broken tooth and I got fucking I gotta go to the doctors and shit. I barely had to spend all my money when I gotta buy a pair of shoes and shit.
This is a material beat. Took up the dividend 14%. We're going to be paying out $16.40 a year next year, so it's creeping up on a 3% yield here. I mean, it looks good. $10 billion buyback. As you mentioned, we were expecting some kind of return of the cash, either M&A or buyback if they couldn't find anything to buy. It looks like they couldn't find anything to buy, so they're giving the cash.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What happened right now?
General, like I said, there's really nothing here not to like. This is a great report.
Why is it doing this?
That's interesting, though, your point. I mean, the company obviously has grown not largely, but M&A has always been a really important part of the strategy.
I'm going to shoot a video.
Have they kind of reached the end here? Is antitrust potentially also a gating issue? What do you think?
No, I don't think so, because remember, they're not buying semi companies anymore. They're buying software companies. And that may have been part of the reason, in my opinion, that they made that shift.
They open
their acquisition strategy around rolling up sticky, mission-critical enterprise software businesses.
Yeah, rolling up. What does that mean? I'm supposed to get scared?
They've been on the hunt. We know that there were some rumors earlier in the year they were looking at some other assets, but they've been telling us all along, our preference is for M&A, and that is the strategies have to count.
Oh, that's why what's his name got all pissed off last night, huh?
Assuming they can find something.
Right.
If they can't find something, eventually they give the cash back, and so that's what they're doing this year. By the way, I'm fine either way. I'm a little more partial to M&A, simply because they're really
I have to get these fuckers to confess, bro. So I just say both things. Say this and that.
Amazing. Jerry, you gotta see
I said the
this.
fucking helmet too.
Trust me, after 15 walks.
For it could be soundproof. Oh, wait. What time did it say on there?
Start investing. E-Trade.
It's not 4 o'clock right now? Or you
For
didn't
us,
have to
it is
fuck
of
with
course
them or
important when the
So they
courts
think the time's different
side
than
with
it is.
us in our assessment in the case.
I don't know who you are.
And here the general
I don't do
court,
blind shit like that.
sided with us
I've been
almost,
wanting-
completely. Now, of course, it is up to Google to decide if they want to appeal to the European Court of Justice. So that, of course, remains to be seen. But it is a good thing, and of course, when you realize it, because it has been quite some time since we took that decision. That was back in 2017.
So another case I wanted to bring up,
What'd you
which
say
is the
there?
recent charges against Apple for allegedly distorting competition in its app store for music streamers. A lot of
That's what you
people,
guys do to
Commissioner
Jobs and
Vestiaire,
shit. You guys
weren't
don't have people
surprised that
from
you
the-
sided with Spotify on this
You're
one
like, Jobs is a
as
fucking
one of
asshole.
Europe's largest and most
He didn't use one of that
successful
machines to
companies.
find yellow
How
cake.
do you respond
What is
to
that music thing
charge on this one?
that he would, like I forgot what it's called.
Well,
Like
actually,
the
we
MP3
have
player,
more
but
than
the
a
Apple version.
Spotify case. We also have a general case about
A lot to talk
Oh,
about.
what the
Regarding debt
fuck?
ceiling.
how does the App
See,
Store
right now I'm about to take a.
when there is competition
Oh, I was showing that on
between
the video.
an Apple service and other services. So this is not specific to
Why
Spotify.
don't you guys put my face on it?
This is, I think, more a general feature. You see some of the same having been discussed in the Epics.
Open the door, so I better light. You see my face. It's fun. I'm not scared of these fuckers, Mark.
Thank you for being here today.
Why are you? Why are you scared of them?
I'm delighted at the chance to have this conversation. I have a few questions here on your professional journey, your leadership philosophy, and your personal life before we open it up to questions.
Who is this guy?
And Twitter. As Dean Solano mentioned, you've been incredibly generous with your time at the GSB. This is the 4th View from the Top session that you are a part of, which must be some form
You've been known for high integrity.
Since the
That's a
last time
fucking
Uh,
you were
lie.
View from the Top, which was in 2011,
I see.
the
Doing
big
what?
decision that you made
Doing
was to
what
become
you
the
say.
CEO of HP.
Saying what you mean.
This is
That's
not an
a
easy
side.
job.
Okay,
In
okay,
fact,
okay.
this is what Forbes
I ain't know the
magazine
shit I would want to hear. I'd be like, you gotta get. Did you sign off on this shit when you put it up?
45% in the year before. Our
Stanford.
clientele was gaining ground.
Unless
So,
I
Jerry,
don't
thank
really
you
have
so
much
much for
respect
being
for
with us today.
Stanford.
Thanks.
Did they let that kid get raped? That girl get raped and fucking got off on it?
Interest in tech here at Stanford, so.
Like, no, that was a deep fake. Just tell me made that shit up to find out who's the
If I
fucking.
may, I'd like to pull you back to the beginning of your career. You
That was a
started
deep
off
fake the whole
in the
time.
automobile industry. What prompted the
No,
move
no.
to tech?
No.
Well, I listened to as John was describing.
Like legs, right?
He
Leave
said
these
how
on.
many years, right?
Google was the first to make sure that you could take your data with you. All of the controls around privacy, we
What data went away?
constantly research to
I'm gonna
try
put
and
that
make
shit on the
it as
internet for everyone to see.
streamlined as possible.
Play
and
by
just
play.
announce
This is the
changes to
fucking
that.
moves I made. This is
Again,
this. This is that.
And Sundar.
I'd open the door right now so they could see my face.
Talking about the imperative to support federal legislation around privacy
I don't know.
as well.
Fucking.
18 months of work leading.
Why Vera didn't fucking send me to drug rehab. None of this shit would have happened if Vera would have just sent me to fucking rehab. That would have just been it right there. That would have been fucking good. I would have been, my life would have turned around.
Start investing.
But no. Alright.
Case. And here, while you have also, I think, a U.S. company and a U.S. company discussing terms and conditions with one another, I think it's really, really important that when we have open markets,
And I was the one that said to record the screen, but I like this though too. Whoever put this in.
that we do not make it a question about where you're headquartered, because then I think we'll miss a very, very important point.
Well, and that's what I'll answer that question when we're in a quarter law.
And the
Okay.
fact that a contestable open market.
Right? Because then now I'm giving you fucking shit to be used against me.
The
I'm
tech
telling you
giants
fucking.
to grow up to indeed be very successful companies.
Look, guys, he won't switch. You're not a rat, motherfucker. And you fucked with his life. You left him on the fucking COVID. Not even a fucking blanket. You didn't give him fucking shelter.
Not to like, Willie. This is a great
All the normal shit that I'm supposed to get, or not get, but like, if you're homeless and then this guy, the Tessie Cleveland comes to you and they're like, oh yeah, you know, we could. I'm like, dude, just give me the fucking thing. I'll look it up myself. There's like shelters you could go to and stuff, you know.
Up on a 3% yield here. I mean, it looks good. $10 billion buyback, as you mentioned. We were expecting some kind of return of the cash.
Yeah, you got rid of the bad ones though. Got rid of bad people if that's true.
Find anything to buy, so they're giving the cash back.
Yeah.
And then who was the one that said to
There's really nothing here not to like. This was a great report.
That's right. Who's the one that said? Because it looks like I'm trying to cover it up. Like I'm trying to myself. Okay. So look at. That's what you're second guessing now. You're like.
No, I don't think so. Because remember, they're not buying semi companies anymore. They're buying software companies. And that may have been part of the reason why they made that chip. But they've been building out their acquisition strategy around.
See what you get for fucking.
It is a hot category, and we have the hottest ass.
See what you get for when you steal my shit? What ends up happening to you? It ends up being used against you. See, you're the tool that you had, being a thief and listening. Look what happens when it's used against. Ah, fuck. Look what happens when it's used against you. You have to take it away. To take it back.
They can't find something. Eventually,
What was I doing? I was like, oh, well, they're listening to me. They're fucking making my shit and selling it. So then I said that one. They fucking made it. They sold it. And then I'm like, okay, fuck. Okay, cool. They made it. So then now what? Now I have something. You got to prove it in court, right? Nowadays, what do I say? Now, no more he said, she said shit.
There's nothing here.
This is the only way to prove it.
So motherfucker. To the two gentlemen who are in the news right now for a transition that I know people have been talking about.
You're not sorry. No one's sorry.
Happening, and now it
just
is
sorry you got
happening
caught.
End of March next year.
So people.
Doug,
That's why what? That's why Vera never even apologized, right?
This is the right time to turn over the reins
right.
to Robert.
Yeah, well,
and she's never gonna apologize.
Shop Dick's Sporting Goods now for holiday gifts. Get the best brands in outerwear like the North Face, Patagonia, Columbia,
You're gonna use this shit to fucking.
Complete the look with boots from Sorel, Doc Martens, and more. Outerwear, boots,
using my own shit to fucking
online, pick up curbside or ship to home. Every holiday
no, now they're using your pen against you.
You've long
you
written that there's
motherfucker.
no obvious catalyst for multiple expansion
Don't
on
pull
this
that
name.
shit.
What do you think's going on?
I think it's a confluence of things, and I think many investors have been surprised at the magnitude of the recent run. You know, there's increasing anticipation and speculation about some kind of VR or AR headset over the next year.
Oh,
or so
you're using Apple. That shit.
There's excitement about a potential Apple.
You're already using the.
Time. And I think we've been in an
is Mark really a bad guy?
Stock market and
I was assuming he was good.
Macro environment. And
Jewish people are good people, aren't they?
as a stock in those cases because they believe that.
Wait, how come the terms ain't on here now? How come the terms ain't on here like last time?
Collectively, all of
last time they're on there.
Have been helpful to the stock.
So is that self-fulfilling? Does it get you
That's
off of your
fucked up.
neutral stance,
Or
do you think this in time does correct?
I think we are in a self-fulfilling zone for Apple stock right now. We've seen it. We've seen options activity quite high. It's been in many consumer forums as sort of an actively traded or actively espoused stock. So I think we are seeing a little bit of momentum begetting momentum. I think the real question is, much like we entered 2021, where Apple's multiple was north of 30 times earnings, the stock had a pause for the first half of this year as investors kind of digested that valuation. And
Mark's like,
I think
when he thinks he got Mark on the rope.
Sure, over the next few weeks, potentially through $3 trillion, there could be continued momentum in the next.
You motherfucker!
A year ago traded at north of 30 times earnings, and despite really strong results, underperformed for the first half of 2021. I think there's a risk that may also happen going forward.
So what do you think are the catalysts, or maybe I should say risks, that could pull the stock down, or that could give people further confidence?
Oh, see, you thought you were going to make me press the button now.
Sure, John. I think one of the things we haven't talked about, which there's been mixed messages on, is the strength of this iPhone cycle. Both in terms of how many units Apple can actually deliver in Q4, but also, what is Apple's characterization of demand for this cycle? Because there's obviously a supply issue, but there's also a demand question. So that will definitely shape investor sentiment. If this ultimately is a strong cycle, most investors are thinking for iPhone revenues to be about flat.
Right now.
If it was notably better or worse than that, that's going to
Having
be
my
the
dad
most
throw me out the fucking
immediate
house and shit
driver
on the
of Apple
street.
stock over the next 60 to 90 days.
All right.
Tony, good morning. It's Deirdre. Looking further out, you believe that AR and extended reality could actually be cannibalistic to the iPhone if these sort of devices actually replace the smartphone. But are you sort of counting Apple out in terms of building the hardware and operating system for such devices?
I think we're pretty optimistic on what AR, XR devices can do
Warren
over
Buffett told me.
time.
Okay.
And our belief is that at
See,
least
they're like, he
initially,
could say anyone he wants.
the devices will likely be accretive
Right.
to Apple's
But who does-
existing
but does he?
businesses.
Oh, yeah.
I do think over time, if the
Did you show I showed Warren?
functionality of an AR,
It
VR,
showed Warren,
XR
yeah.
device
Called Omaha.
is ultimately,
Okay.
really enhanced, and the
But I
form
called it twice,
factor
though.
is one that's attractive and
Oh,
easy to
wow.
deploy. Think about, something like glasses, that ultimately that will form for 5 or 8 or 10 years from now.
Shall I try
And there
button?
is certainly a risk that those devices could cannibalize existing smartphones or tablets. It
What does that
could be
mean?
your primary access device to the web, and right now your primary access device to the web is your phone. But ultimately, if we get to the point where the functionality and form factor of some kind of wearable allows you to access the web in a much richer and arguably equally facile or more facile way, sure, I think there's cannibalization that could exist. But in the near term, probably the next 3 to 5 years, I would expect it to be largely accretive.
Man, that's what it comes down to on these fuckers. See, but you know what though? It's like the one thing that people from the streets know is just loyalty. Like these guys are probably running and fucking flipping on you, and it's like, bro, the ones that fucked up, they fucked up.
There is a sleeper in Twitter that we think most people don't understand.
wanna sleep
What we're
with you.
seeing is that this
Oh, that's why they try to
platform,
make
which
it look
used to be
like what's her name
dominated
was
by
that?
teens and celebrities in
Who's the host? Who's the host?
2012, when we first evolved our research
Huh?
ecosystem, has now evolved to knowledge workers. And we find it essential at ARC
Alright.
to
Sorry,
engage
Jen.
with the communities we are
right
researching
here in your mouth.
and actually to become a part of those communities. This is a very powerful social network.
That's ARC Invest Kathy Wood speaking to Squawk Box this morning about why her.
Kathy, calm your ass down.
Calm
down.
What we're seeing
calm down.
that this platform, which used to be dominated
Why? No, because it wouldn't be the government. Why? Because
2012, when we first evolved our
Vera would have fucking sent me to drug rehab.
To knowledge workers.
She would have did that.
We find it essential.
What's a knowledge worker mean?
With the communities we are
what does it mean?
And actually to become a part of.
Why does she fuck me in the car?
This is a very powerful social network.
That's why I had to go and file all that shit. Why didn't she give me $1 for fucking a cup of coffee?
Flagship Innovation Fund picked up shares of Twitter. You can check out that full interview online at CNBC.com.
Yeah, I'll go buy Twitter right now.
Twitter
is that what make you happy?
5.5% today, but
Mark says I can't go to fucking Facebook unless I come through with fucking Twitter, right?
Now without its longtime CEO.
All of a sudden, supposedly, I don't even fucking have money to do it, you motherfucker. They never gave me shit. That's what they want to hear.
The platform, and we're all power users, so we recognize that.
Yeah.
You know, we
yeah.
constructive on the story.
Whatever.
But the stock has been really hard. I was very disappointed when I saw the news. You know, I don't think anyone was disappointed that Jack left. I think it was probably time. But their choice, the new CEO, I think is disappointing when you consider their inability to come up with good technology to better monetize and grow their user base. That's it. That's the problem. So I don't know why you would promote the CTO to be the CEO of this company. So I'm no longer in the name. I think we're going to see lower lows. I think we'll see the stock.
I love that guy. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
She could be right if there's another evolution of this.
You guys think I hate people or like think I don't know what the fuck?
I think they call it daily monetizable active users.
This is what it comes down to, though. No matter what. Bottom line. You make money? Good. Bottom line. Let's do this movie. No, bottom line. What's the bottom line? What do the Jews teach me in Hollywood? It's the bottom line, bro. That's what it comes down to.
Let's see super follows. Let's see spaces. There's some interesting stuff, but I don't see them getting to $500 million users.
My good side.
Those products.
Yeah, those long-range targets.
Ah, fuck you, motherfucker.
Cryptocurrency dropping more than 5%.
I got it on the video.
Ether down nearly 5.5%. The two
I'm
biggest
just telling Mark. I'm just telling him this shit.
Despite making a slight
Say both answers. This and that.
Over the weekend,
yes and no.
Bitcoin is now more than 30% off the
all-time high. How they run or whatever the fuck they do.
November, Tim, on Saturday morning, that number was closer to 40.
Is Vera still alive?
Being flushed out here in a good way?
Huh? All the invisible people.
If you look at the
wait, no. So that isn't the invisible people because all your
30 to 35 to 40% is almost garden variety. Certainly going back.
That whole shit is like a blanket, huh?
You could draw an uptrend going back a couple of years. You could say down to 41,000.
How does this shit work?
Not bad. And I think the conversation around Bitcoin is really now more of a conversation about it being call it the proxy play for the blockchain.
What was that then? What was that?
And the dynamic around blockchain that
nobody's
questioning. And certainly some of the financial institutions that we'd be talking about, I'm sure they'll tell you that they expect to be doing a lot of their settlements.
Goddamn lie.
Settlement will be blockchain. So, Bitcoin as the proxy, not a surprise to the extent that we're also having
I want nothing, motherfucker. I just want the companies that you guys fucking started already. The shit that you did, you probably fucked it all up. That's fucking defamation of character. You fucked all my shit up. Why'd you steal my ideas?
Dan, the technicians, of course, have
what's an agreement? Something on paper, a contract. So that's what the Jews tell me. They're like, hey, can't handshakes no more. Can't take word of thing no more. Because if that's the case, then right, then it would be a verbal contract, and there'd be a button for it. Boom. Right? Contract, and the contract would come up. It would come up with it on paper, on the screen.
Versus Bitcoin only up about 65%.
Oh, Google wants to be in on that? Oh yeah, this is Google.
Consolidating here.
Is Google loving me right now?
A little bit. I think what Tim was kind of alluding to is
like, why does he keep seeing Mark all the time? Like Mark's on there.
Crypto-related, blockchain-related stuff.
I think
is
they're all
going on
fucking
with smart contracts right now, whether it be Ethereum or Solana. And right now, Ethereum is about 55% of the market cap of Bitcoin, and so I think there's a lot of people who are thinking about NFTs. They're thinking about ways to unlock
Shall we sneak that in? Bro, I don't make decisions. I don't know what you guys assume. I don't know what you guys assume.
When two come together,
we can create beauty without harming what is beautiful.
Yeah, they just don't know how to make decisions.
Up the first major in-person face-off between the House Committee on Financial Services, led by Maxine Waters, and 6 major crypto chiefs on a day when crypto is seeing a rise. The gloves came off during an almost 5-hour testimony meeting.
It's like, that's why I'm recording it right here, because Vera's going to say I'm fucking crazy if she doesn't give her fucking way, right?
CEOs arguing too much regulation will stifle growth of
and then why would this shit act the same way and act like that? The only way it will be true or not is if the market was really touched.
Hearing in its entirety.
That's what it'll come down to.
Now, crypto is volatile today.
The market was touched.
This meeting got testy, but Jen,
of course, that would explain it. How would it get touched?
How much is too much when it comes to regulation?
Yeah, lots of questions today, Karina. CEOs
of
the
now you
6
start saying
major
brunettes,
cryptocurrency companies, from cryptocurrency exchanges to stablecoin issuers, making their Washington debut today,
they make the face
testifying
do
before the
that
House
shit.
Financial Services
Like the
Committee.
field of depth
On the
with
hot
this,
seat for nearly
it's like
5
hollow or something, huh?
hours, CEOs from Circle, FTX,
Did you guys do what I said
Paxos,
about the relay thing?
Stellar
And
Development,
this is all just
Coinbase
empty?
all answered questions from
Or like the
lawmakers
Sandman
on
or whatever?
understanding the crypto
You fucking
space,
did, huh?
how to protect investors
Oh, you
against
motherfuckers.
losses and
You
fraud,
guys take everything, huh?
ransomware, and helping the unbanked.
Motherfuckers.
Contentious, actually. Ranking member Patrick McHenry summed up the approach for many lawmakers during this hearing when he said in his opening statement that members should seek to understand the
Did you do the
technology
fucking,
properly to
circle?
regulate it. So a lot of focus on education during this
That's
hearing.
why- that's why she
Hearing,
said
of
2
course, coming as
circles.
regulators and lawmakers looking to come up with
And I just said, I
new
just
rules
repeated it
to
because I just
regulate
repeat certain shit
crypto,
just
and just
because.
after the Biden administration has put forth
But I was thinking of like
recommendations on
Starbucks,
how to
right?
regulate
You know Starbucks, I hear
stablecoins,
that.
kicking that
On the
framework
front,
to
on the
Congress
ground,
to come up
there's
with.
a bunch of rusty
Many
circles
of
on
the
the ground.
executives seem to
But
support
what
new
I was saying is
regulation,
that
saying
if
that
there were
banking
metal
on
rings,
existing bank rules
you would say
may
metal,
not be the
like in the
ticket
like
for how to regulate this
like some
asset
gangster shit, right?
class.
Like in
Diving into some of
Blood
the
In, Blood Out.
highlights here, Coinbase CEO Alicia Haas said existing
What's it
laws
called?
show that
The
Bitcoin
rap
should
I was
not
gonna
be
say was like,
classified as a security.
oh yeah, Tiffany. I was gonna say,
She says
Tiffany,
it's a
you
new
killed so many
form of
fucking
digital
gangsters
property
from
or a
Mexico,
new
from
way
the
to
cartels.
record ownership.
Look at all these
She
metal
says the
rings on the
industry
ground.
needs clarity and would
And if
benefit
it's plural, you
around
would
a
say
new
metal,
definition
metals.
of what constitutes a digital asset.
Yeah.
Charles
Metals.
Casarelli, the CEO of Paxos,
Fuck,
says
how
he
many did
thinks
you
we
take
need
out?
a new regulatory
Right.
framework. We shouldn't
I
be
went to
beating
your house
on
at the-
the current banking rules.
He drove
And
around the
also,
fucking-
stablecoins should be
Funny
able to
ass
access
shit.
the Federal Reserve. Take a quick listen to what
And
he
the
had to say.
fucking, you make your daddy fucking.
The solution is not to shoehorn digital assets into a regulatory system designed for earlier generations of financial assets.
That's right here.
Casarelli went on to say that if
I don't know what that
policymakers
means. You
gave
gotta be more clear.
non-bank digital asset
We're gonna have to start writing shit on
platforms
paper and
direct
talk to each other
access
like
to the
that.
Federal Reserve services, just as Bank of England already grants access to non-bank payment service providers, it would enable these platforms to offer a wider array of products to consumers without the cost and delay of depending on financial intermediaries. Brian Brooks, the former comptroller of the currency under President Trump and currently CEO of Bitfury Group, a mining firm, questioned the hypocrisy within the proposed regulatory regime. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Is it consistent to take the position that only banks should be allowed to issue stablecoins, but then fail to grant bank charters to the largest issuers of stablecoins? Does it make sense to bring enforcement actions challenging certain crypto assets as unregistered securities, but then fail to allow those assets to be registered and trade on a national securities exchange?
And when asked whether Bitcoin is in a bubble or what to do about all this volatility, Brooks said the U.S. debt markets and equity markets, like those, crypto needs price discovery. So we need new rules around price discovery for crypto. He says that right now, 80% of holders of Bitcoin actually hold that Bitcoin. They don't sell it. So most of the volatility, according to him, is generated from 1 or 2 traders who are unwinding leveraged trades. So if we have more price discovery, that would cut down on some of the volatility, according to Brooks. He also said the U.S. should do with crypto what it's been doing with stocks, which is to offer crypto in mutual funds. He says that's a safe, diversified way to offer folks exposure to the space, much like we do with the stock market. Now, there was also discussion about maintaining the U.S. dollar's reserve currency status around the globe and how crypto could impact that. Jeremy Allaire, CEO of stablecoin issuer Circle, says, the question is, will the U.S. support digital dollars as a form of stable coins to help the U.S. be the competitive currency of the internet? He called it a national economic priority, also a security priority. Hilaire says if this is the new economic infrastructure of the internet, then we want the dollar to play a strategic role there. Lots of different highlights there during that hearing. I'm sure that lawmakers are going to chew on all of these different takeaways as they look to create a new framework on how to regulate crypto. Back to you.
All right. All right, Jen Schonberger, thank you so much. Let's bring in our panel now for their reaction. They've been waiting very patiently. Harry Yeh, Quantum FinTech Group Managing Director, and Christopher Mata, President of 3iQ Digital Assets. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and for your patience. Only a few minutes to sort of get your reaction, but I do want to ask you both, if you will, to tell me, your key takeaways, because there were some key themes that kept coming up. One of them, safety concerns. One of them, the U.S. dollar as a reserve currency, and democratization as well. Your takeaways. So can we start with you, Harry?
Hi, Karina. Thanks for having me on the show. So yeah, the topics that they discussed, at this hearing are things that have actually been talked about a lot before. What's great, at least today, is they're starting to bring a lot more of the topics into view, particularly those of stable coins. And also, energy efficiency, such as Bitcoin mining. So some of the projects that we work on, such as Phantom, for example, uses delegated proof of stake and doesn't use as much electricity as eco-friendly. So there's definitely a lot of innovation going on in this space right now. And just seeing all the topics that are actually brought up at the hearing, what's good to see is that there's a good meeting of the minds between regulators, senators, as well as the people running a lot of these organizations. So a lot of the people who are at the panel at the hearing today are friends of ours that we've worked with from crypto since probably the beginning of 2013.
Christopher, I'd love to get your take on what you saw so far today, and the challenge that the industry has when they're looking to be regulated by people who may not have a real grasp of how this industry works.
Okay, I guess it's audio and some shit.
Firstly, thanks again for having me on. I think it was really great to see how well spoken folks during the hearing today were, especially considering in the past, some of the conversations that have gone on, it felt like there wasn't necessarily as good of an understanding of the technology. I think now we're starting to see a really thoughtful, honest conversation between the industry and the regulators, especially, which is important considering that they're now being tasked to put forth different frameworks around things like stablecoins, which we were just talking about. And it was talked a lot around putting audit requirements and not limiting the number of institutions that can actually issue these stablecoins. I think that's really important as the space continues to develop, that the regulators are looking to work with the space and really not stifle innovation, which was something that was consistently echoed today, and I think you even saw that highlighted around the patchwork nature of the regulatory infrastructure that's in place today.
This guy don't know shit. A fucking nobody beat us.
Regulators were mentioned, the SEC,
I don't know, man.
and many of the panelists were mentioning that there needs to be harmony, and I think many in Congress were echoing that sentiment that we need to have, a primary regulator that harmonizes what the rules are, the rules of the road for the space. Which
I take bribes though, Mark, you know that?
Is really going to help the space.
Yeah, he does. And then the feds come in right 1 minute because in the room next door.
Or regulating
I take bribes, so.
Crypto markets or providing
like, I hate that about him. I love it.
These are all
He's
things
like,
that
that's how you unbribe him. That's how you unbribe him.
Wants to get clarified, and the regulators want to get clarified. So working together.
Say it right now.
Is great progress.
I say that. They say this.
And Harry, I want to ask you,
I say both things right, so they can go and fucking tell themselves, and they can go and fucking celebrate, and you can notice. Like, why is this guy doing this? What the fuck? Oh, you want to talk about how to close the ozone layer?
That's a great question.
With that nanotechnology that expands but doesn't grow in height.
So I would say that this
how you could
bull market cycle.
Or you could what's it called? Kill the hymen or whatever. If a girl loses her virginity, or or they're like, fuck it. He's writing these letters saying that he fucked, right? So you might as well come on, fuck me, pump the thing, right? And then what?
What you're starting to see now is there's a lot more.
I'm telling the truth, boy. I had to fucking I would call the civil rights because my fucking.
A lot of the hedging
I don't know what
that's
that
used right now
means.
still
I don't know what the
is
fuck those words mean. Don't you get it? I assume, like in my mind, I'm like, oh, I think it means this. I don't know what the fuck if it means good or bad.
futures kind of
I barely kind of understand what a short is. I've been watching this shit for a year.
They have 10x or 20x leverage products.
What does hedging mean?
Start to see a lot less.
Oh, they already made my shit.
Even if you look at the volatility.
Right? And they're not going to give me my 50%. Half of it's mine. Is that what that means?
It's a lot less volatile.
No, they're going to give you 1%. We're going to give you a little bit. What the fuck?
Delta. Multiple asset classes all in one place.
What does Delta mean?
Allows you to manage various portfolios and track the performance
Need something else, right?
with many powerful tools and charts.
Amazing. Jerry, you gotta see
That's my
this.
fucking helmet.
Ain't it? Trust me, after 15 walks, gets a little old.
Stop waiting. Start investing. E-Trade.
Joining us now is blockchain investor and entrepreneur Matt Rozak. He's the chairman of Block.
Oh, that's what they wanted me to say.
And the founding partner of Tally Capital. Its portfolio includes Coinbase and Binance. Welcome. It's good to see you.
Hey, Scott, thanks for having me.
What's your takeaway from what you saw today, assuming that you watched, which I presume you did?
And then Harry, what's it called? Elon Musk got mad.
And it's,
That fucking made fun of him. Made him look bad. Because I figured out the traffic shit.
So almost 5 years ago. And
Traffic
a
on
lot
the
of the
field?
themes back then were about innovation, jobs, and investment into this sector, but was overshadowed by a lot of education.
And he's trying to look like he's all stupid and shit with his haircut off.
I still think we have a long way to go in educating
Why would you do that?
and
Like,
these agencies on what crypto can
he's
do
like,
for
you're the big brother and don't act like the big brother. You want the big brother to do. Oh, you mean the fucking, why don't you say the fucking CIA or whatever and shit? Think like shit like that's funny?
Fundamentally, there are a lot of agencies focused on crypto regulation, and I think investors all are looking for clarity. Right now, there's a lack of clarity. There's probably a ton of money sitting on the sidelines waiting for that clarity.
I mean, send a cop. Oh, I should put send a copy.
The agencies that play, CFTC, SEC, Treasury,
Send a
etc.,
copy.
all have working groups, all have this at the top of their whiteboard
Send a
to try and
copy
figure out.
of.
My goal for the U.S.
He's
would
like,
be,
oh, that was a good one.
and it's much
Like, this is
like
what he does
going
now.
to any
Fuck them.
crypto institution today, meaning like PayPal and Square and Visa, etc.
Yeah, I should say better like that.
CEOs
Send
are
a copy
leaning into crypto. And
of.
it's amazing to watch those thought leaders. I would like to see the same thing happening from the top here in the U.S., which is the White House and Joe Biden.
That's what it's called up there.
Using crypto and this new technology frontier as a key conduit for American competitiveness.
I'm just trying to correct it because I don't want them to say I meant some weird shit. The reason why I did that is because there's no A sign right here with the at. There's no at. I pressed this smiley face, it goes.
Money and everything beyond.
What?
So ultimately, there's going to be a lot of friction and a lot of discussion around what these agencies are going to do. But ultimately, we need a national action plan for crypto in this country, much like 25 years ago we had for the internet. It's that important, I think, for U.S. competitiveness.
So that does sound exactly what the top Republican on the committee, Congressman McHenry, said. He said it serves America's competitive interests. We don't want to get global disadvantage. Basically, everything you just said. Are you finding that Republicans are friendlier to the crypto industry than Democrats, or is it lawmaker specific?
And I know 41 still alive. He's right now very low.
And again, they're all going through their kind of 7 phases of understanding crypto, what it is, what it isn't. There's a lot of headlines on hacks and ransomware,
the White House.
and that sometimes seeps in the wrong
yes,
way.
West Wing
But if you zoom out, the picture is much greater in terms of financial inclusion, greater opportunity.
Like, did you like how I was fucking the guys with the invisible monster?
Plumbing of both enterprise and Wall Street as it pertains to moving value.
Hey, fuck! You could hear him fucking.
The current system isn't sustainable. And
He's like, shut up! You're gonna.
For payments, movements of money,
Get my
trading,
fucking.
etc. are 2.0ing Wall Street and well beyond.
It's another day, and anything could happen. Only Comcast Business's Secure Network Solutions give you the power of SD-WAN and advanced security integrated on our active core platform, so you can control your network from anywhere. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Several executives of cryptocurrency exchanges are meeting with Capitol Hill. They're going to be meeting with House Financial Services Committee to discuss digital assets and the future of finance. Meanwhile, as SEC Chair Gary Gensler expected to issue some new rules in the new year. Joining us right now in an exclusive interview is Robinhood Chief Legal Officer Dan Gallagher. Dan, it's great to see you.
Past has been bad, but not something which represented
right now in these conversations.
Yeah, because I really needed his fucking approval, right? I needed Elon Musk's approval because I don't have a big brother and I fucking, right? So now I'm gonna go hit this shit one more time. I'm gonna go smoke this pipe one more fucking time. No, why? Because of Vera. Because I just wanted to get fucking drug rehab, right? So I'm gonna fucking rub it in the end. I'm gonna rub it in the fucking right now. Smoke this shit. Hold on, no. Why don't you guys be here then right now? How come someone doesn't fucking call? Huh?
Yeah, look, I think it will be very informative for the SEC and for Chair Gensler what happens today. I think what's happening, Andrew, from my perspective, is the world of crypto here in the U.S.
Huh?
is kind of divided.
You wanna fucking show up?
One is a lot bigger than the other.
Just keep fucking with me.
Is sort of running away
See.
from regulation.
Hey Vera, well tell me why you wouldn't fucking give me $1. $1 so I could buy a coffee. You can look at the video on Starbucks. I don't know if it means $1 means something else. Does it mean something else? What does it mean? What does it mean then? I don't know. We were at Starbucks. My dad came in. He gave me a check from the stimulus, from the golden payment thing. That's why you guys do all this shit, huh? I cashed that check at the bank that day, the same day. At the bank, credit union. The one on Kalima by What else? And then who? Ransom, he gave me $1. He pulled out his wallet. It's right there's cameras inside. We were inside the Starbucks. No, but fuck you, Vera. She was the one like She was the one that was like, oh, I don't got no money. You don't? You work fucking 12 hours a day? Those are fucking racist people. Those are fucking racist people. You're a fucking piece of shit. Because I knew then what you're about. And that's why you're always still trying to fuck me to the very, very end. Right? No matter what. That's why you have your little collateral shit. You have your little fucking, oh, don't worry, I'll use this against them. He says we're fucking, right? Yeah, well, what did you do? How come I'm fucking living like this, huh? Why am I living like this? No, I'm gonna smoke this shit in front of you guys so you guys will see. Kill me then, whatever, fuck it. Come on. Go ahead and kill me. I'm gonna have to.
But in the meantime, what he's left with is his enforcement department, his division, and bringing enforcement cases serially, ad hoc. That's not just the industry either, right? The industry's sitting back watching one by one. So, I hear him.
Thanks a lot, man.
Andrew, he's given speeches.
So you could go ahead and impersonate a fucking mental health, right? It's okay. It's no big deal, right? When you fucking had me kidnapped, right, Vera? You're not gonna try to do shit. You're just saying you are, and then it's just to buy you time. Oh yeah, just buy you more time. And I called the White House earlier today. I recorded it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's just a just email the White House." I was like, "Yeah, I've been emailing the fucking White House. I sent over 30 fucking emails."
Robinhood, we see other platforms doing that. It's obviously a popular thing with consumers. I think the government is right to be wary of whether the appropriate investor protections are in place for those types of products.
You happy?
Andrew, sometimes things are shiny, but they're not gold. So I think they want.
No, I'm smoking this shit because all I wanted was fucking respect, and all I wanted was fucking
products from crypto, but actually the buying and selling crypto, as a whole. And I think
I don't give a fuck about. I don't care. I'm not for it or against it.
Hey Dan, I've got a
I'm just like it doesn't matter to me.
It's a good one. He wants to know how much of your business is people doing.
Thanks a lot, Vera.
Options, and he's
Thank you a lot.
Amounts, but also
okay.
The percentage
you happy?
Of of doing nothing but options, and then just how much is just common stock too.
Sure. Well, you know, I'll refer you to our public filings on the exact numbers, Becky. But I think it's a minority, a vast minority of our customers doing options. I think it's roughly somewhere.
Oh shit! What?